Okay, so now Aaron is now obsessively watching Steven Universe, which is awesome because all the other children are on to it. Okay, so I'm gonna give you background on how I found Steven Universe. I ultimately, when it came out, I was pregnant with my daughter, I believe, and I was having a lot of trouble coping with that because I did not have custody of my son. I actually gave custody of my son to his father the day I found out I was pregnant with my daughter. So it was like really a blow. If you've ever seen those memes, like, how you gonna have another kid? You don't even have custody of your other kid. You know, they really beat women down for not having custody of their children, and men do this shit every day. Men don't have custody of their children. Men go and have children and continue to have children even after a relationship fails and don't see their kids. But for women, they really beat us up for that. So I was having like a really hard time dealing with that. And around this time was when I realized I didn't laugh a lot, and that just ultimately I wasn't experiencing joy. So I started to take myself backwards, and I started to watch cartoons and comedies. The comedies I watched was Bernie Mac, McCullough, which is actually the man who they believe is my father. His last name is McCullough. And then Malcolm in the Middle. So those are the two like sitcoms I would watch. And then I fell in love with Steven Universe. And the reason I fell in love with Steven Universe is because Steven reminded me of my son, and it felt like a way to be close with my child again. So I started watching Steven Universe, and first thing that you notice about it is that they talk about the crystals, and they're the common crystals that everybody uses. Rose quartz is Steven's mother. We have garnet, sapphire, ruby, pearl, amethyst, lapis lazuli, peridot. The one that they always be fighting. I forget her name right now. But and then they combine, and when they combine, they create sunstone and onyx and all types of smoky quartz. They create all these different kinds of crystals. A black obsidian is one when they all combine together. I mean, they just really, it was a really good show. And the concept was basically that the diamonds were into domination, and they would go and they would destroy worlds, and they were aliens. So they would destroy worlds, and one day Sapphire and Ruby run into each other and they fuse. And the interesting thing about that is that not garnet, but ruby is a red tone, kind of looks like me. It actually kind of looks like, if you look at it, it kind of looks like an indigenous individual or a Native American. And then you have sapphire, which is a blue tone, white colored crystal. And when they fuse together, they make garnet, which is the character that has future vision. And there was great protest about this. And Rose Quartz led a battle to protect these fusions, and also to protect Earth, because she fell in love with Earthlings. She just thought Earthlings were the bee's knees, and everything about Earth was awesome. So she didn't want to destroy this world. And come to find out, spoiler alert, she's actually Pink Diamond. And so she cloaked herself from her family in order to go against them, to save Earth. So this show, all the kids got into it. My son got into it. My daughter got into it. We really got into Steven Universe. And the things that I learned about myself watching that show was just interesting. But the most interesting thing about it is the writer of that show is from Silver Spring, Maryland, and that is literally right down the street from Brandywine. Divinely orchestrated. Oh, and one more thing to add. it goes on into another series, and at the end of that series, what is described and depicted of Steven Universe after years of fighting this war, because his mother ended up transferring all the weight to him, and she had to, I can't even get into that, but she was no longer there, and he had to pick up all the pieces and fight her battles. And what they depicted and what they described was covert emotional incest.